Come with me and Ethel on a morning walk as we go foraging for some elderflowers to make elderflower cordial. This is best done early in the morning, just as the sun rises and before it gets too warm. Make sure that you're picking flower heads that are fully open. They should be white, frothy and packed full of flowers. When picking, make sure that you don't remove too many from one particular bush, as these are adored by flying pollinators. And always harvest from well above waist height, because you don't want any blooms covered in nasty things like dog wee. Once you've finished harvesting, it's time to head home with your bounty and create the process. Here you're going to need a large saucepan, large enough to take sugar, water and of course your elderflowers once steeped. Add your sugar to the saucepan and keep adding the sugar to your saucepan before adding equal parts of water. Here you're making a basic sugar syrup, and the idea is to get your sugar fully dissolved in the water, so make sure that you give it a good stir. Then it's time to move over to preparing your elderflower heads themselves. Place them in a large plastic bowl and submerge them completely in water. You're going to need to give them a thoroughly good wash, so make sure that you give them a good squash down and change the water several times to remove any insects you may have brought home with you. Next, gather together your other ingredients. Please check the caption for the full list of details. You're going to need to slice up your lemons thinly before setting them aside and adding them to the rest of your ingredients. Return to your sugar syrup and make sure that your sugar is fully dissolved before turning it off and allowing it to cool. It's now time to bring everything together. Add all of your other dry ingredients to your now drained elderflowers in a large plastic bowl. Make sure that you're in a well-ventilated room when you do this, as one of the ingredients does release a gas which can be harmful. Pour over your cooled sugar syrup and allow this to steep either overnight or for up to 3 days. At this stage, you're going to want to dive straight into it and eat it with a spoon. But once it's steeped, pass it through a colander back into the saucepan you prepared your sugar syrup into. The spent elderflower heads and lemons can be added to the compost heap before the liquor is then passed back through a colander lined with a muslin. Bottle this into sterilised bottles before creating the drink of your choice. Either pour it directly into soda water and enjoy as a simple refreshing drink, or add it to a gin cocktail for a decadent weekend treat. Or if you like, try adding this to a glass of Prosecco and enjoy it out on the patio in the sunshine. However you choose to enjoy it, it's quick, simple and incredibly cheap to make, and will remind you of those wonderful summer days for months to come. Make sure that you keep your liquor in the fridge to make sure it keeps for just as long as possible, and obviously drink responsibly.